So we now have a basic agent with conversational history. This is great. This is a much larger improvement from a basic generate text node. However, the thing that we want to do now in this particular case is we want our agent to make some queries, right? We want it to pull information from its vector storage and add that to our context in order to be able to more successfully answer questions for us. So if we want to do this, we're going to disconnect our message history here for a second. And we want to add in, so we could do a very basic knowledge bot. So basic knowledge bot would have us searching. Search, I was asked recently what the difference between search and query is. Query will actually not only grab the data for you, but will pass it to a large language model. I think it's just defaults to OpenAI, and provide for you a natural response back. I'm not as big of a fan of this. I like control over what the prompt is looking like. So we're going to do a knowledge search. So the knowledge search node is going to take a query. Right? So we're going to take this same query here. We're going to use whatever we say to the agent is going to be used to search for some knowledge. Now, as I mentioned, we're going to be making use of this knowledge tab over here. I'm going to be doing some work on this, but we can upload files or we can put in websites, etc. For now, maybe I'll just put in this Magick architecture PDF. You'll notice we don't have a source URL anymore since we've put in a file. For the data type, I'm going to say that this is a PDF. I'm going to click upload. It's going to do its thing, parsing the PDF, chunking it up into pieces, and embedding it into agent memory. We can see that it has saved successfully. We can see the link, the source URL to the file, and we know we have a little bit of knowledge to play with now. So we'll close that tab for now. So I'm going to say, tell me about Magick. Now you'll notice I'm not doing anything with my knowledge yet. I just am going to run it to see, let's clear this as well. I'm just going to run it to see what search knowledge actually returns for us. So we can take a look at that. Yeah, so it's obviously getting information from its internal memory right now because I'm not using any of this knowledge. But we can see here we got two outputs from our search knowledge node. Knowledge is returning a list or array of strings. And we have 3 items because we asked it for a count of 3. Now, data is sometimes a little bit more useful. It's a more complex list. Not only do we get the context, we actually get the page that the bit of text came from, a bunch of stuff about the document ID, what its general score was. And so maybe I might want to do something with the page. I might want to send somebody a reference, etc. if I wanted to. So all that data is there under the data output. But we got this really handy helper function, which is just knowledge, right? It's just a list of strings. These aren't super compelling, but, you know, language models these days can take more information. So I'm going to set this up to 5. So we got 5 items to work with. So if we want to utilize this knowledge, we need to find some way to take this array and turn it into a string that we can put into our system prompt over here. So for this, we have this template node. So you'll notice, for those of you who are coming from V1, not all of our nodes contain these flow sockets. Some of them just provide values, like our text template. So it does not need to be connected to the main run sequence. It will run whenever its value is required by a downstream node. So in this case, we want a couple things. So the text template allows me to make sockets here, and I can also make some basic sockets this way. This will automatically create a string socket for me, as we can see here, and add it up in the input sockets. This interface may change around a little bit as we add more helper functions, but in the meantime, we're going to remove that. We'll delete the node. And what we actually want, so our templates can now work with multiple different kinds of data structures. You actually can use strings, you can use booleans, right, true or false values to do conditional logic in your templates, you can use numbers, and you can use arrays. So we're going to select an array. I'm going to just call this knowledge. I'm going to add an array socket. So now this knowledge that's being output from our search knowledge node, we're going to plug over into our text template. And we're going to give this a super basic prompt. You are a helpful assistant that knows everything about MagickML, a visual programming tool for AI agents. You have been asked query. Make a node socket for it. There we go. It shows up. You have retrieved the following information from your memory. Colon. Now this is where we use one of these little helper functions. These should be better documented in the future. Technically, for those who care, this is the handlebars templating system, which gives us some handy templating features. In this case, we're going to use the hashtag each, and we're going to say knowledge. So for each item of this knowledge array, we're going to print it. So this, in this context, refers to the item that we're iterating over. And then when the iteration is done, we do /each to end that loop. All right, so what we would expect is the you have been asked, and we'll put in the query coming in from our input. And we're going to take this knowledge output, and we would expect each one of these strings to be printed in this section of our template. Back to my text template. Retrieve the following information from your memory. And we'll just say your response. So we'll continue completing after the your response segment. Actually, this is a system prompt, so we don't actually need to do that. That's probably good enough for it to utilize in the system prompt right here. This name may change for prompt and system prompt. Technically, the content going into prompt is being put into the last item of the message conversation history, whereas the system prompt is actually going into a special prompt field that these language models have. So this should be enough for it to take things that I'm asking it and respond to it. Tell me about Magick's architecture. Send. So we're going to see it start to run again. Bam, we go to generate text. And let's see if it gives us something more useful than the previous definition of Magick that was generically from its internal memory. There we go. It seems you're asking about the architecture of MagickML. From the information provided, agent runs with a spell book. The spell book also loads and initializes plugins. So it's actually giving me some pretty decent information. If we want to, we can check out this text template here. And let's take a look at, okay, it's not super well formatted, but we can see that the information is actually getting put in. As I mentioned, we definitely need to work on this socket data preview because I can't scroll. But if we go into our knowledge and we'll just take a look, we're now getting 5 items. So we're getting these 2 that are very not helpful. It looks like we're getting some duplicates in here, which is interesting. I'll have to look into that. And their event system, cool. So we have a basic knowledge bot hooked up.